The fake Uber driver, how Sarah nearly disappeared. The neon glow of downtown bars faded in the rearview mirror as Sarah slid into the back seat of what she thought was her Uber. The license plate matched the app, asterisk, or did it, asterisk. She squinted at her phone, the bright screen stinging her tired eyes. 5 minutes away, the app had promised 10 minutes ago. But when this car pulled up, she was just relieved to escape the chilly night air. A prickle of unease crawled up her spine as the driver didn't ask for her name. Instead, he nodded silently, his eyes flicking to hers in the mirror, asterisk, too long, too focused star. The car smelled like artificial pine and something metallic underneath. She tightened her grip on her keys, their jagged edges biting into her palm. Then the car turned left. "This isn't the route," Sarah blurted, her pulse throbbing in her throat. The map on her phone clearly showed a right turn toward her apartment. The driver mumbled something about construction, but his knuckles whitened on the wheel. A soft click echoed through the car. The doors locked. Her breath hitched. Child safety locks, where are they? The usual lever was missing, the plastic smoothed over like it had never existed. The streets outside grew darker, the buildings thinning out. Asterisk, think. Think, asterisk. Asterisk, oh my God, yes, officer, I'm in the car now, asterisk. Sarah suddenly shouted into her dead phone, her voice too loud, too frantic. The driver stiffened. Asterisk, you're tracking me? Good. I'll be there in 2 minutes, asterisk. At the next intersection, the red light glared like a warning. Without hesitation, Sarah wrenched the door handle and threw her weight against it. The lock held, but the window was down an inch. She jammed her fingers into the gap, nails breaking as she forced it wider. The driver yelled, grabbing for her, but she was already halfway out, asphalt scraping her knees as she tumbled onto the road. Horns blared. She ran, sneakers slapping pavement, not stopping until she collapsed in a 24-hour diner, sobbing to the waitress behind the counter. Police later found the car abandoned in a warehouse district, its plates fake, the back seat wiped clean except for one thing, a zip tie tucked under the floor mat. Sarah's real Uber, the app later showed, had been cancelled by the driver 5 blocks away. Trapped in a modeling scam, how Mia uncovered a trafficking ring. The business card felt heavy in Mia's hand, asterisk, Elite International Models asterisk, embossed in gold foil. The man who gave it to her had approached her outside the campus library, all polished smiles and designer sunglasses. "You have the look we want," he'd said, eyeing her up and down. Asterisk, "Our clients in Europe pay top dollar for girls like you." Asterisk. At first, it seemed like a dream. The agency's Instagram was full of glossy photo shoots and testimonials from models lounging in Dubai or Paris. But when Mia arrived for her interview, the office was nothing like the sleek high-rise she'd imagined. It was a dim, windowless space above a shuttered electronics store, the air thick with cigarette smoke and something sour, asterisk, fear star. The woman behind the desk, who called herself Madame Soline, spoke too fast, her crimson nails tapping impatiently as she slid a contract across the table. "Sign today, and we fly you to Milan tomorrow," she purred. But the fine print demanded €3,000 in portfolio fees up front, and Mia's passport. "I'll need it back to enter the EU," Mia said, her voice thin. "No, darling," Madame Soline corrected, her smile sharp. Asterisk, "We keep it safe for you." Asterisk. A muffled sob came from behind a closed door. Mia's stomach lurched. Through the frosted glass, she glimpsed shadows moving, girls, some younger than her, sitting rigid in chairs, their faces blank. One met her eyes, just for a second, and shook her head violently. I need to get cash from the ATM," Mia blurted, clutching her bag to her chest. We take wire transfers, the woman snapped. My card has a withdrawal limit, Mia lied, already backing toward the exit. 5 minutes, I swear. The stairwell was pitch black, the steps uneven. She stumbled down them, her heart hammering, expecting a hand to clamp her shoulder any second. Outside, she didn't stop running until she reached a crowded subway station, where she collapsed onto a bench and dialed 911 with trembling fingers. Police raided the office an hour later. They found stacks of forged visas, a ledger of shipments, and 17 passports in a locked drawer, but no trace of Madame Soline. As for the girls in the back room, they'd already been moved. Mia's photo, the detectives told her, was still on the camera. Next week's batch, they said. The abandoned mall, how Lexi survived a hunting ground. The text message blinked on Lexi's phone, *, back entrance by Sears. 3 p.m., come alone. *. She hesitated at the mall's rusted service door, its paint peeling like sunburnt skin. The job listing had promised $25 per hour for merchandise testing, easy money for a college freshman. But the parking lot was empty, the only sound the clank of a loose chain-link fence in the wind. A man in a too-tight suit greeted her inside, his handshake damp. "We're streamlining the hiring process," he said, steering her past skeletal storefronts, their displays still draped in dusty plastic. The air smelled of mildew and something sharper, bleach. His shoes left no prints on the grimy tile. The interview room was a former stock closet, its walls soundproofed with egg cartons and duct tape. When the lock clicked behind her, Lexi's phone died with a soft beep. "Just some paperwork," the man smiled, sliding a pen toward her. The first page read NDA in bold letters. The second had no words, just spaces for her height, weight, and blood type. Across the room, a red light blinked on a camcorder. Lexi's chair screeched as she stood. "I left my ID in my car." The man moved faster than she expected. His palm slammed the door shut as she reached for the knob. "We'll take new photos," he breathed, pulling a zip tie from his pocket. Then Lexi saw it, the fire extinguisher beside a boarded-up exit. She swung without thinking. The canister connected with his temple with a sick thunk, sending his glasses skittering across the floor. He howled, clutching his face as she wrenched the safety pin free and sprayed a choking cloud of white powder between them. The window shattered easier than she expected, like it had been broken before. Lexi fell through in a rain of glass, her tights tearing on the frame. She ran past a dumpster overflowing with fast food bags, and a single high-heeled shoe. Police found 7 more shoes in that stockroom. All different sizes. All left-footed. The camcorder's last recording? A girl mouthing, "Help me," before the screen cut to static. Lexi's interviewer was never caught. But 2 weeks later, workers demolishing the mall made a grim discovery. A crawlspace behind the walls. Just wide enough for a person to crawl through. The backpacker's nightmare, how Eva woke up in hell. The hostel bar buzzed with laughter and clinking bottles when the couple approached Eva. "You're American?" the woman asked in perfect English, her sundress swaying as she sat beside her. "We loved California." Her husband nodded, sliding a mojito across the sticky table. "Try this, local specialty." Eva hesitated only a second. They looked safe, his button-down shirt neatly tucked, her manicured fingers toying with a silver pendant. The ice cracked invitingly as Eva took her first sip. Then, nothing. She woke to darkness and the roar of an engine. The taste of bile filled her mouth, her head pounding like the van's wheels on pavement. Rough fabric scratched her wrists, zip-tied to a metal loop in the wall. Through a crack in the partition, she saw the back of the man's head. The woman was humming along to the radio. Panic surged as Eva's fingers found the hairpin still tucked in her braid, a habit from childhood ballet recitals. Her shoulders screamed as she twisted, working the pin into the plastic cuff. Click, one hand free. The van swerved onto a highway, signs flashing in languages Eva didn't recognize. As the couple argued over directions, she silently unlatched the back doors. Cold wind whipped her face. Then, she jumped. Tumbling across asphalt, Eva felt skin shred from her arms before crashing into the divider. Horns blared. A semi-truck screeched to a halt, its Polish driver shouting as he wrapped her in a reflective vest. Police found the abandoned van at a rest stop, its floor littered with energy drink cans and syringes. The couple's luggage contained 6 passports, none with their real photos. Eva's mojito glass tested positive for scopolamine. The silver pendant left on the bar. A camera that had live-streamed her last conscious moments to a dark web auction. As for the other items in that van, a child's hair ribbon, a wedding ring, and a stack of boarding passes. All one way. The boyfriend who wasn't real, how Claire almost vanished. The first red flag should have been how quickly Mark memorized her coffee order. 2 months of late-night FaceTime calls, of him remembering her childhood cat's name, of roses appearing at her workplace with notes saying asterisk, can't wait to take you away. Asterisk when he suggested a weekend trip to a lakeside cabin, Claire's friends frowned. You've never even met him in person, her roommate warned. The GPS blinked 12 miles to destination as trees swallowed the highway. Mark's knuckles whitened on the wheel when Claire suggested stopping for snacks. Not safe here, he murmured, thumb brushing the lock button. His phone buzzed, a message in Cyrillic. At the gas station, Claire's stomach dropped as she caught fragments of Mark's phone call by the pumps, asterisk, cross at Niagara Falls, yes, the blonde one. Asterisk the attendant's eyes locked onto hers as Mark laughed too loudly about asterisk, surprising her with Canadian pancakes. Asterisk. Her fingers trembled as she typed under the restroom sink, asterisk, 43.1082 degree N, 79.0636 degrees west help. Asterisk the whoosh of the sent text was drowned out by Mark's fist pounding the door. Asterisk, baby? We'll miss our reservation. Asterisk. Tires screeched as 3 cruisers boxed them in at the on-ramp. Mark's scream of asterisk, you ruined everything. Asterisk turned to whimpers when officers found the zip ties and horse tranquilizers in his trunk. Later, detectives showed Claire photos from his apartment. A wall of screenshots, her jogging routes, her gym schedule, and 6 other women's profiles, each tagged with prices. The cabin didn't exist. But the shipping container parked at the coordinates he'd entered? Its lock was brand new. Claire's rescue came with an unsettling footnote. Mark's phone contained one final outgoing text. Asterisk, package delayed. Preparing alternate. Asterisk. As for the roses he'd sent, the florist had no record of the orders. Just like Mark had no record of existing. Before he slid into her DMs.